Alright, so my 1976 Honda Super Sport 400, which was running so great last week, I went to start it and it just absolutely refuses to fire. I'm going to see if I can fix this, and if you are seeing this on YouTube, it means I actually did fix it. If you don't see this, it means I had to take it someplace. I'm not a mechanic by any means, but I know a couple of things. I know that an engine needs gas and it needs electricity. I've got gas. It seems to be dripping out the bottom here, and it's in this tank, so I suspect it's electricity. First thing I'm going to do is check to see if I've got a spark. So pull the spark plug out.
Oh God, it's freaking hot. Remember when I did a video and it was 12 below zero? Air temperature 12 below zero, wind chill 26 below zero. Yay! Alright, it happened.
Ooh. That spark plug's in pretty bad shape. Alright, so I pulled my spark plug up. I hooked the spark plug wire back up to it. I'm just going to kick it over and see if there's a spark there. I don't see that I'm getting any spark at all there. It says spark plug gap is supposed to be 0.7 to 0.8 millimeters. But let me get a feeler gauge. I suspect that the problem is further up the electrical chain, and get some of that oil and carbon and soot off there. I've got a gapper here, and I've got a 0.76. And that's pretty close. That's 0.76, and it's for sure 0.73 or whatever. All right, just for fun, since we've got the spark plugs all cleaned up, we'll try it again, although I'm sure it's not going to make any difference. All right, key on, start, stop on run, tank's open, choke's on. All right, same difference. I am recalling another time it didn't start and there was a fuse that had gone out. I have my super handy multimeter here. Got it set up for continuity testing, and so it makes a noise. So I can test across here. All those seem to be working fine, so it's not a fuse, not one of those fuses. Okay, there is one thing I'm really suspicious of, and that is that my battery is super dead. If you see, when I turn this on, there's a little bit of light here, but basically the battery is just knocked out. Ever since this spring, it hasn't had enough juice to start it with the starter, so I've just been kick-starting it. It's super easy, and it always starts. I wonder if maybe there has to be a minimum amount of electricity in here to energize the spark plug. So I think probably what I need to do next is get a new battery. So I'm going to take the old battery out. This reminds me of one thing I should mention. When working on batteries, always want to remove the negative terminal first, because, and fortunately it wasn't me that did this, but I was present when someone learned it the hard way. You stick a wrench on the positive end when the negative is still connected. Try not to lose that. And in the process, you hit anything that's metal, you're going to arc that battery directly, and you can do a lot of damage. I'm just pulling these vent caps, or well, these caps off right now, and I'm seeing that there's no water in here. I don't know if I can revive this battery or not, but I'll give it a shot.
I'll put a cup in there. Got my Epsom salt. I'll put 4 tablespoons of Epsom salt in it. Well, let me heat up the water first. And I'll put 4 tablespoons of Epsom salt in it.
I was on this charger for about 10-12 hours, and it's at 77%, voltage of 14.3. That seems pretty high. 77%. It does goes up 1 every now and then, so I'm going to stop it now, take it off, and we'll hook it back up and see what happens. Okay, we got the battery reinstalled now. We'll see what, if any, difference that makes. Put the key in. Oh, you can see the lights are much brighter now. There's no headlight. Let's see if it'll turn over. No. No, something's still wrong. Well, let's try kick-starting it. Nothing. Turn the choke off. Why the starter motor doesn't seem to be working. Alright, I think the next step is to figure out, I'm going to check this switch, because sometimes I had trouble with that. It's a replacement cheap Chinese switch. And I've had situations where it was on run and it wasn't really on run, so I'm going to deal with that next. Looks like when it's there, it's making these two wires connect, completing a circuit which tells the motorcycle that it's okay to run. So it should be, when I test them here, there should be no continuity. When I test it here, there should be continuity. So there's definitely continuity there. It shouldn't be, though, I don't think. Well, let's try it on run. See if maybe there isn't, maybe it's, there's continuity there. Go the other way. Huh. Well, it seems to be the same in every position. I would think that the switch would just complete the circuit, and so if it's making noise, it should be fine, although it should be off. When it's on off, it shouldn't make a connection. That's worth further exploration, I think. That's weird. Alright, so I haven't really figured anything out yet, but what I was thinking, because no matter what position this is, it's always connected together and it doesn't start. It might mean that if I snipped one of these wires so there was no connection, it would start, but that seems kind of permanent if I do that. So I'm going to follow this to its end and disconnect it wherever it's disconnected. I think it's under the gas tank someplace, and the gas tank's pretty easy to take off. You can see this wire goes through the handlebar, and then you're not going to be able to see it, but it comes out of a hole right here, and then it comes down, and this is it, and then it goes under here. So let me take the gas tank off, which is, like I said, pretty easy to do. Shut the valve off, and then it is, so you don't want to take this off because the valve's here, but if we take this off here, then we're downstream of the valve, so it should come off and not leak gas all over my brand new concrete. Not too much, hopefully. Of course, there's going to be some in there. Let me see, where's my rag? There's a rubber thingy here. This is the tank. You can see it's pretty loose. It's kind of held on there, and then the front. My weight balance. Let me fix that. It seems like it should break, being like 40 years old and all, but it's still got some play to it. Now, this just comes back, and voila! How's that, huh? Oh, look at that. All sorts of stuff to look at. And this is plenty full. See how it says, if I turn it to the off position, it's just sort of floating. There's no voltage going in there. If if I turn it on, and it's sending 9 volts through this wire. So that's going someplace else. So, but anyways, what that tells me is that this switch is doing something. There's no voltage, and now there's voltage. So I don't think that's our problem. I think it's going to have something to do with the fact that the starter motor doesn't turn over now too. I think there's something related there. All right, we're going to keep looking. Okay, well now this is interesting. Now, if you look, can you see the spark in there? Okay.
Oh God, it's frickin' hot.
That spark plug's in pretty bad shape. I don't see that I'm getting any spark at all there. My battery's super dead. If you see, when I turn this on, I'm seeing that there's no water in here. Yeah. I'm definitely getting a spark now. I can't tell you necessarily what was wrong with it. I was just out pushing it up and down the alley while it was in gear. I ended up turning the choke all the way off, pushed it a while, gave it some gas, started up. Seems to me to have been flooded, but heck, I know there wasn't a spark there before, so I'm not sure where the problem was, but all I can do is tell you that it seems to be fixed. Okay, so what's my take-home message? I guess, you know, I was inspired a lot, and as many faults as he may have had, Dave of Dave's Farm is the one who inspired me to work on machines that didn't seem to be working, because he could take the biggest pile of crap he found with weeds growing in it in the middle of his yard and make it run. I figured I can make something that has run recently run, and it's almost always the case that I can. So if you've got something that's broken, don't give up. Don't just take it in, have someone else figure it out. It may or may not be worth your time to fix it yourself from a strict monetary basis, but if you don't know how to fix anything, what are you going to do when you're out on the road and it breaks down and you don't have a repair person to help you out? Give it a try. It's very unlikely you're going to screw it up worse than it's already screwed up. Good luck.